To the Social Selling Success Society. This is Rebecca, and this is day 4 of the Social Selling Challenge. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words there. The Social Selling Challenge. I am having technical difficulties, so I apologize that my video is now going to be upright instead of sideways like the rest of them have been. I know it doesn't really matter to you. It's more about my preference because I like to upload things to YouTube if I want to. But I just want to take this time to point out that we are talking about social selling, and because we are dealing with online things, sometimes technology just doesn't work right. And that is exactly what is happening with me. For about 20 minutes, I have been trying to get my phone to turn the other way, and then it puts me in like a fish bubble looking thing. And it's not because I have on an app. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Hello, Amber. So I am here, and despite my technical problems, I had all of these thoughts of just not doing it right now, but I really can't fit it in any other time. So this was planned for 7 p.m. tonight, but I could not do it because I have a friend coming into town. It's my only night to see her, and you know what? Sometimes you just have to change your plans. So this is now the plan, but I am going to take you through it. Hello, April. Hello, Amber. Thank you for joining me. So we have been learning all about social selling. We have learned that social selling is 95% relationship. We have learned about how to build know, like, and trust on social media, and that's not very different from how we do it in real life. But unfortunately, many of us are still not using those techniques that we use in person online. And then we also learned all about how to create trust and be consistent. So now what I'm going to be talking with you about, this last thing, is about how to plan and create your content that can be very engaging for your audience, because it's going to be very personal to them. And if you did your homework from day 3, we went through some questions to help you to get clear on who your ideal client is. You need to know who you're talking to first and foremost when it comes to your social selling and doing it right. You need to know. You need to niche down. You need to be a subcategory of the overall topic. So we talked about it yesterday that if you are, we'll use Amber because she's here as an example. Amber is someone who is in Pampered Chef. She's a really big leader in Pampered Chef. And so in order for her to really get out there, yes, she's talking about the products, always can talk about the broad of the products, but she's really niched down to really talk about your family and food. And so her site is about activities and eats with Amber. And she talks about, and I'm going to use her as an example here, she talks about things that you can do with your family, fun food, recipes, quick and easy meals, and she serves in a more niche down way instead of just talking about the Pampered Chef products. And so we need to make sure that we are branding ourselves outside of just our company, because we want people to know, like, and trust us. They're going to ultimately buy because they like us. So as we get into this here, I want to set it up by telling you about why taking the time, because it will take time to create this valuable content, why you want to do that. I'm going to give you some reasons. And if you're following along, you should have your worksheet. It's in the notes here. You can access it online, follow along with me. Everything is in there. Very valuable stuff inside of these notes. I really believe that this packet itself I could probably sell, and it's really good information. All right, so first of all, the reason why you want to create valuable content is one of those things that compounds your efforts. And that means that if you create a piece of shareable content, and it can look, and we'll talk about the different ways that you can make content, but if you create shareable content, then that is a way that it's going to continue to work for you once you put it out there on different platforms. It's going to continue to work for you for years and years and years even. It can help give something easy and simple for other people to share and refer you. And it also adds value to your customers when you aren't there with them live. And so we want to always make sure that they are thinking of us in the vein of they are helpful, I like them, they give me so much more than anyone else does. That's the feeling we want to give the people that we deal with. So the next thing is that when you can create this content and the way that I'm going to show you how to do it, then you can create a real difference in the lives of other people, because you are creating something that they can really sit down with, they can ingest, they can understand it, they can take time to really grasp it. So let's just give an example of what that could look like, of oils. If you are somebody in the oil industry, I talked about this before, I want to know about oils, but there's a lot to know. And I'm not the expert, but somebody that was an expert, if they took time to make a very simple or different simple sheets about what kind of oils I should start with, how to use them, how to implement them in my life, I would be so grateful, because people have given me like the big books of what all the oils do, but it's overwhelming. So what your people need, what all people need, is ingestible content, small pieces of content that they can ingest and they can start to understand, and they can go back over it and go back over it. That is why I leave up these videos. I make them audio. You could listen to the video live, you could listen to the audio, you can go over the worksheets. So you need to go over and over and over things in order to take advantage of understanding it, really implementing it into your life. So that is the kind of content that we're thinking about making. Even the content on your social media, when you're repeating yourself in different ways, in creative ways, don't just post the same thing over and over, because then they'll think, oh, I already saw that. You have to do it with a different approach. The next thing is, it does build that trust and loyalty and referrals. Like I said, when you have that piece of content that they can then share, that it's valuable, then it's going to give them a good feeling about you, and it's going to set you up as that expert. The next thing is, it gives something, I already said this, something for them to share, and it's going to set you apart from the competition, because most people aren't taking the time to do these things. They are relying on whatever content their corporate is putting out. They're relying on the big picture things, and they aren't making things personalized to them and their brand. They aren't making themselves the expert. They are continuing to make it seem like they are they're not really setting themselves up as the expert. They're letting the company do all the heavy lifting, but people don't care about big companies. They might trust that it's a brand that they're familiar with, but when it comes to actually buying and using, you're the one that makes the difference on that. The next thing is that it's a way to go over and beyond to serve your customer. I already alluded to that. Like, you want to set yourself apart by having the best customer service. The way that you can offer the best customer service is to make these tools, these checklists, these information things, these posts that will help them to understand, videos behind the scenes to help them to understand how you go about implementing this into your routine, so that they can get a visual of how to do that. The next thing is that it helps you to spoon feed your customer that information, because like I said, it's a lot to ingest. It's a lot of information that after years and years and years of us ingesting our own we know our stuff, right? We are the experts, but we need to remember that other people are just beginning to know the knowledge. So that's why we have to spoon feed them and repeat ourselves. Selling takes repetition. And then this is the other exciting thing that you may not know, that what we need to be doing is capturing their email. It's very important for us to be capturing emails, because we don't own any social platform. So even if we build a really big audience on Facebook or on Instagram, on YouTube, on any of it, they can shut you down because something could happen where you maybe have a song in the background that you weren't authorized, or there can be multiple reasons why they can shut you down. And so you need to make sure that you have your customers' email addresses so that you can still contact them. And email gives you a multiple touch point as well. So let's just say that you are doing YouTube videos and Facebook, and those are your two primary places where you reach customers. If you add email, then anytime you create a piece of content, a YouTube video, a live, you have created a worksheet, anything, you can just send them weekly updates and send them links to those. So if they missed them, there's another opportunity for them to get to that content that you've created. So it gives you an opportunity to have multiple touch points. most people are still checking their mail. And if they get to know you as somebody who is sending valuable content, not just your company's newsletter, but something that's personalized, something that they can sink their teeth into, you're maybe breaking down some information more simply, so it's quick little tips and tricks that they can implement into their life, it's valuable to them, then they will open it. And email marketing is a whole other subject, but it is so important. Every single person who makes money online, and that is a big part of the way that they make income, will say you have to have an email address. You cannot just rely on the social platforms, even though those are fantastic tools that we want to utilize. So before I get in, let's just say, so the thing about emails, then I'm gonna go back to you guys and see if you have any questions or any comments, is you own your email. So anybody that's on your email, that's your ownership. You own it. Nobody can take that away from you. And then again, if you're creating that content weekly, it gives you an excuse to email them. So you don't want to just email them for a sell or to solicit every single time. It needs to have valuable content, the kind of content we're talking about creating here today. And at a minimum, if you're not going to mail every single week, then you should be mailing at least monthly. And this is something that I have been very guilty about. I personally struggle. My email is overflowing, and I had this sense of like, if I'm sending emails, I'm bothering people because my inbox is so overflowing. But that is not the case. So I'm telling you the truth, and this is something that I'm still working on. And I'm always honest about the things that I'm doing well and the things that I'm not doing well. But I know how to do it. And for me, it's just been something I haven't got my crap together enough to implement. So I am looking to do this as well. But when I was in network marketing, I did send my newsletter that the company made for me, but I did personalize it a little bit. So I want us to remember that. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. So let me ask you guys, is there any questions on, anything that we've talked about so far about email, about content? I'm going to get into some of the nitty gritty, but I want to make sure that I'm interacting with you, giving you a chance to ask any questions, to comment. I appreciate the love that you guys have been giving me to show me that you're there and you're listening. As you know, if you've ever done lives, it feels really uncomfortable to just talk to a camera when nobody else is around. And so it's really wonderful when people can engage with you. And if you set the example of making a habit to engage with other people, then you'll increase engagement with you whenever you do something. That's the way that it works. So, how to be consistent at posting content. Now, this is the problem that most people have. Even if I can tell you all the good information, the reasons why you should be doing it, I can even tell you what you should be doing, there's still the problem of how do you find time and actually implement it, right? Do you guys agree? It's not that easy, particularly if you're somebody who's not very structured. Because some people that are structured, they can just get in a routine and they can just, do it. But those of us that are not structured, we can get very distracted. So this is some tips for you to be able to do it consistently. First of all, go ahead and plan it out. And I even want to say so much as plan out the entire year. Right now we're at the beginning of a new year, so it's the perfect time for you to sit down and take the time to plan. If you have it all planned out, you will take action. The chances of you taking action are much greater than if you don't have a plan, because all of you have been there where when we want to do something, we have an intention, but we haven't really fully made a plan about it. It just can't happen because there's just too much brain power that goes into every single day trying to figure out what it is that you're supposed to do. So we need to have a plan. So April says she's not structured. So you're understanding me, and you can relate. I'm not structured either, but I have been able to do some really incredible things by following some of these tips that I'm giving you. The first thing is plan. That is something that I'm going to give you a template for you to plan, and I also am going to be offering to work with a small group of people to completely support you in creating content, planning everything out, and so I'm going to be giving you a little more details, and you can ask questions about that at the end here. So after you've planned out your entire year, it's so much easier for you to just go about it. You know exactly what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you the process of how to do that. The next thing is that you need to, when you're doing your planning, you need to figure out what are your promotions going to be every month. You need to know ahead of time what is your focus, what is your intention. You know, at different times in our businesses, we have different things that we need to be promoting based on the season a lot of times. And so we need to make sure that we're very clear on what are the promotions that are going to be going on around that time. To the best of our ability, we need to know what we need to be focusing on promoting so that we can do it ahead of time and we're not behind the ball trying to scramble and figure something out to, you know, pull together a post for, let's just say if it was at the end of the year when we're doing Black Friday and we know people buy, we need to be ahead of the curve there. We need to know exactly what we're doing before it comes to pass and have our plan fully laid out. So Amber says that planning has helped her a ton and that she learned this from me. So I went to her retreat and I spoke as a consultant. I taught them how to do some of these things. I spoke to all like 30 of her people, and the people that implemented it, they really appreciated it. But a lot of people didn't take that time to do that initial planning to get it all planned out. And so we need to make sure that we are putting in the effort to do the things that are really going to make the big difference. Planning is one of those. So the next thing is you can create templates for things. So even the posts that you are doing on a regular basis, instead of recreating the wheel all the time, you can have templates. And the tool that I'm going to tell you guys to use is either WordSwag to create social media posts, or you can use Canva. Canva has a free option. It is amazing. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but they have classes that you can take for free. I pay about $13 a month for Canva, and it gives me a lot more options of pictures and symbols and different things. I've been able to create everything I need for my business with Canva. So if you are going to, you know, really take your social selling seriously, I recommend investing in Canva. But WordSwag is an incredible place to start for free. And that is what Amber says that she uses to create your social media posts, like just doing your 5-day-a-week post. WordSwag is amazing. I love it. I used it. I even make logos with WordSwag. It's really, really great. And thanks for all the love, guys. I appreciate it. So the next thing is to choose 5 topics. Okay, so this is something that I teach in my course, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview. That you need to think about 5 different topics within your category of what it is that you do. So actually your subcategory, because you're going to niche, right? So in your niche, what are 5 things that you could be talking about that are really, really important to your customers that are also solving problems for them? So that is going to be one of the lines when we go to fill in the content. Think about 5 things of 5 problems they have. So you could think about 25 if you want, and then you could just take 5 for when you're planning it out. And you want to think about the topics that they care about. And then the other thing is your 5 brand pillars. So I want you to think about having 5 buckets. We talked about this on one of the other days, that you want to have maybe one of your buckets is the products that you sell. Another one of your buckets might be something that kind of supplements that. Like, so for Amber, hers is obviously Pampered Chef is in one of her buckets. The other thing is that she has, you know, health, overall health and exercise. Another thing is her family. And another thing is like activities with her family. I actually have it on this next page. I have a couple of examples of these 5 topics that you could pick based on some other people that I've worked with in the topics that they've put together. And Amber came up with hers on her own, but I put her in here as an example under Activities and Eats with Amber. That is Amber Speck, and she has done an amazing job doing her social selling. So the next thing, after you come up with your topics, then you have your 5 repeating themes that you can create for your week. So once you kind of come up with their problems or the different ideas that you have, then you're going to have the 5 things that you are talking about all the time, like your 5 buckets. Then you're going to have the 5 repeating maybe themes or topics based on things that you know your people need and care about. And that's how we're going to build that out. So I talked about having a plan. So you not only need to have a plan, but you need to have like a content calendar of when you are going to post what. So that's why it's really good to pick like a weekly theme. So you can either pick one theme. For instance, my theme of the month for the Social Selling Success Society is social selling. So I'm going to be talking about this theme all month long. Or you could pick something for a week, and that is what you talk about all week in different ways, falling into those different categories that you're going to create. Or you could have a repeating theme for the week. So every Monday is like a motivational something. Every Tuesday is talking about customers or talking about customer problems. Every Wednesday is something else. So hopefully that makes sense. And you've seen those themes where if you're in a group that's really good, they usually have some repetitive kind of themes, but that's just a guiding principle for you. And then you're able to talk about different things within that category, so it doesn't become mundane. We have to keep them interested and engaged. And then the next thing is you can schedule. That's how you can stay consistent, is schedule them ahead of time. So if you sat down, you went through and made all of your different ideas for the year based on what is going on in each season of the month, and then you went and you created a month at a time calendar planning exactly what you're going to be posting, and then you scheduled it out. So you could sit down for like 2 hours and you could schedule it. And this is something that you might know about the way our brain works in productivity, and that is that we work best when we are staying focused on one task. So if you were sitting down and focusing on one task of scheduling out all of your posts, you're going to get into flow, and it's going to feel a lot easier than you trying to, in your day, stop to think about what you're going to have to do, take 10, maybe even up to an hour I've done trying to make one post, and it is not efficient. So the most efficient way to do it is to plan it out ahead of time, 30 days at a time, schedule it out. If not 30 days, at least a week. 1 day a week, sit down and schedule it out. So if you guys have things that you're already doing that is working that you want to share with the way that you're approaching this and your method, then I would love to hear it. I know that we all would love to hear that. Okay, so now we're on the last page of day 4, the reflection page. And so this is actually what you're going to be working on for your homework, but this is where I'm going to show you how you're going to start mapping it out. And this is a little bit complex, so I'm going to try to show you. You have your examples here, but what I want to let you know is that I'm offering to sit down with people and work with them. Now, Amber, you have already been a part of my academy, so if you want to be a part of this, I'm going to offer this to you for free. But anybody else that isn't already purchased and been a part of my Social Selling Success Academy course, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a deal for you guys to work with me where I can help you hold your hand through this entire process, and I can help you to create all the content that you need. I can help you brainstorm and even assist you in creating things in Canva for you to have those downloadable things, those shareable pieces of content for your people. Because I know that it is hard. That you can have all the information, you could agree and you could nod your head about what it is that you should be doing, but the hardest part is actually implementing it. So I want to offer myself to you guys once a week. We'll come up with a day. I will have an introduction call with you, and then I'll have an end call to make sure that you are completely set. I'm thinking it's going to be 3 months, 90 days, and we're going to break it down to a fee that you can afford. So I'll tell you more about that. All right, so on day 4, this is your homework. This is what we're looking to do. I want you to see, if you're looking at the worksheet, it says these are the list of content ideas. And so you can create some kind of a quiz. So you could create a quick quiz. It's so easy to do in lots of different ways. If you just Google, there's lots of different free things out there to create quizzes. SurveyMonkey works really nicely to create a quick little quiz. But basically what you're doing is people love quizzes. And if you create a little quiz, let's just say Amber, who's in Pampered Chef, created a quiz about what kind of a cook are you? And it kind of has 4 categories where you're kind of putting from the one extreme to the next extreme with some middle range things. And then you have like a little description of what it would be. It really can be so easy. If you just sit down and put a little brain effort into it, you can create a really cute little quiz. And oh, thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Amber says that she recommends it. Rebecca was instrumental in helping her build her social presence and her confidence going live. So thank you, Amber. I'm so glad to hear that. I just look at you as such a rock star. I'm glad that I got to have a part in helping you. And you are an incredible student as well. So I really appreciate you. So quizzes are really, really big right now. People will take them and utilize them. Thank you, April. Checklists. So anytime you can take some complicated information and turn it into a simple checklist for people. Again, this might be so simple, crazy, stupid for you, where you're almost creating it thinking, who is going to use this? But believe me, people like checklists. They like to either check off that they have taken what they needed to do for their health every day. It can be a checklist of these are the things that you need in your cabinet for to live a healthy lifestyle with oils or with cleaning products or with health products, whatever it is that you sell. These are the must-have things that you should have in your ideal kitchen to make it fast and fun for you. So you can think about checklists, live video, of course, and you could even group live videos together in like a sequence or a series, kind of like I'm doing here, where you're teaching something that they wouldn't know otherwise. And you're breaking down the information into ingestible bites. I may have given you guys too much. I'm really bad at giving too much information, but I figure you can go back over it. And I try to now throughout the month, I'll try to break things down into more ingestible things throughout the month. That's kind of my plan. I'm giving you the big picture. I'm giving you everything that I got from it. And then I'm going to give you ingestible bites within the group. And then anybody who wants to really get serious and implement can work with me. The next thing is newsletters. Newsletters can be very valuable sources of information. Now, Rachel Hollis, she's been a hot topic. Most people know her name. Rachel sends out a really cool, or I don't know if she still does, but she used to send out a really cool newsletter, and she would put personal things in there with like little links of like, these are my favorite products. I use this with this. This is a water bottle that I'm loving. And she had like little links where she was actually making money on those things as well. But it made people feel like, oh, wow, now I know what she uses and she's so awesome and I want to be more like her. So I'm really utilizing this little checklist and this list here. It's so good. And I do podcasts, so audios. You can create audios of things. This could be good even for team training. You could create an audio for people, and most people will listen to audios because video is a little harder, but audios people can do while they're driving or doing the dishes. And so audios work really great. And if you want more information about how to do that, I can show you how to use it. You can use a tool called Audacity. Audacity allows you to record audios, and there's also apps that you can use on your phone that I'm not familiar with, but I know that they're out there. You could do a video series, a pre-recorded video series of how to do something. This is something I recommend too, which Amber and I talked about, for like when you're onloading a new teammate. When you're growing your team really fast, instead of sitting down with every single person. Okay, thank you, April. You can catch the rest later and it'll be on audio for you. So the video, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay. So a video series. You can create a video series for onboarding your people. And so when they come on, these are the things that you need to know. You can have a video series that walks them through. It's still you're still building connection with them because it's video, but it's not taking your time. You can tell them after you watch or listen to this, then we can have a discussion if you have any questions, or you can ask me questions. So it's very good way to do things, as well as your customers when you're onboarding customers as to how a process goes. And if you don't just use your company's things, make it yourself, because it's going to be more impactful. YouTube, of course, and I told you, if you start doing YouTube videos, then you might go viral even 3 years from now, and you will get new customers, new teammates from those videos if you take the time to do them. Instagram, of course, when you build up Instagram, and you can build up a hashtag on something and people can find you that way. And IGTV on Instagram is really becoming huge. It's another way that content is there and searchable. Facebook, of course, I like the Facebook groups, but using Facebook just to touch base and to create content in there regularly where people know, and they can search your profile and stuff to go through and to get information that you've posted in the past, and to you can sort things by hashtags in Facebook too, in case you didn't know that. Pinterest is another thing that it's a search engine. It will stay in there, stay relevant to people who are looking for those things. And so Pinterest doesn't expire. If you start making Pinterest pins and utilizing that tactic, it's very, very, people go on Pinterest to buy. So when they find you on Pinterest, they're usually ready to buy or take action. The next thing is guides. You could create a guide to guide somebody through something. It can be using email. Like I already said, email is so important. So you can create an email list, and if you get people opening up your email, you can sell to the people on email. You don't want to sell all the time, but if you have a special offer, or if you're having a special event, that's a great place to get people to show up by utilizing email. You have your Facebook groups. I've already modeled to you guys in the Social Selling Success Society how you can utilize a Facebook to bond with your audience, to serve them, and then ultimately sell to them. And LinkedIn, of course, is another great platform. You can put content on LinkedIn that is searchable on your profile and can be found by other people. And so LinkedIn is a great place if that is something that your clients are on. A blog, you could just start your own blog that could go along with whatever it is that you're selling, where you're informing them, giving them valuable content every single day. So if you love, not every day, every week. So if you love to create, write, then a blog might be for you. I already said a video series. I have that in there twice. Oops. And an e-magazine, that could just be way more visual. So if you sell a visual product, if you are artsy yourself and you love to do design, then an e-magazine would be kind of like a combination between a newsletter and just visuals. Like it can be very beautiful. Pictographs. So anytime you can make a picture of the process of something, it's so much easier for people to follow. And then a challenge. So this is something I'm doing that's like a challenge. There's different ways to do challenges. Health works really well. You could do a style challenge. You could do like a get the bad cleaning products out of your house challenge. There's so many things that you can do with a challenge, and people love and will take action when there's a support and engaging community around it. And then of course we talked about yesterday about people love before and afters. So you could do a lot of different documents that have before and afters, and helping people to see the transformation that they could have. And also templates. So these are things that you could use with your team, where you could create a template for a script, or you could use a template for how you track your inventory, or how you go about contacting clients. Or there's templates that you can make for so many things, but also for your customers. You could do a template to help them to organize something, or I don't know, like you need to think about how you could use a template in your business. But templates work really well where it's just kind of a fill in the blank type situation. And then the other thing that I want to mention is TikTok. TikTok is a place that you can create content. People can come across your channel and they will binge watch on your channel. And so you could do that with style tips, you could do that with cooking tips, you could do that with recipes. There's so many different ways that you could use TikTok, which is the next up and comer of social selling. All right, so that is me just going over and breaking down some of the content that you have, the platforms that you can create content on. But now I want you to notice that we have brand pillar examples on your homework. That is going to give you some ideas of the 5 things that you can use, the buckets that you can put your information in. Think about it as you have your own magazine, and what are the 5 different categories that they would find within that magazine that they can count on, month after month, have become repetitive. It makes it easier for you to create content, and they begin to look forward to those different pieces of content that you're creating in those buckets. And then you have your posts that I want you to do in the group. But now I just want to show you, I have created, and on your sheet it looks like this, and I have given you a full example of what it looks like to plan out your social media. That you are going to, on the top, put across the top your categories of what you're going to be doing, either through a theme of every week, every day of the week. You can have a monthly theme that kind of changes week to week. So there's a lot of different ways to approach this, but I gave you an example so you can wrap your head around it, even if we don't work together. And then on this part, on this side, is where you would put your pillars. So then you would just go across. So what you do is you have your pillar, and then you go across to whatever your theme is, and then you can fill it in. When you have the 2 pieces of information, it makes it so much easier to fill that in there. And then I gave you a blank template for you to create on your own. So I'm giving you a template to give you an example of what a template can look like and how helpful that can be. So that is all that I have for the teaching, but I want to just shift gears for just a few minutes and just share a little bit more about what I am offering. So I am offering you my time once a week. We will meet together on a Zoom call. We can try to agree on a time. If you can't be there live, then you'll definitely be able to watch it, and then maybe you and I can connect on a different time, less often, to try to catch you up or to make sure that you're able to implement after you've watched the recorded videos. But what I'm going to be offering is to give you the opportunity to 100% create your brand pillars. And so you will know exactly what it is that you are niching in and what you're talking about. I'm going to help you to create your format of what you would be posting regularly. I also will help you to come up with a brand name, brand design, logos, colors, so that you can start becoming very identifiable. I also am going to give you access to my course that is $1,000 basically. It's $997. My course is $997, and if we work together for the next 3 months at $97 a month, then I will give you access to my course, which is $1,000 value on its own, and we are going to be working together in a mastermind type situation once a week for 90 days. So this will start in February. And I would love to chat with you more about that. That's only $97 a month. Normally, just to meet with me for 1 hour, it's at minimum $75. That's the least that I've ever charged to meet with somebody one-on-one to help them. So I want you to think about that is a $300 a month value, plus you get my $1,000 course, and it's only going to cost you $97. So I'm giving you guys at a great deal, but I really, really want to help you guys to get out there, to have your social media for your entire year mapped out, show you how to schedule, show you how to use Canva, show you everything that you need to know to be independent in your social media selling or your social selling. Thank you so much for all the time that you've invested in yourself and in listening to me and trusting me to be your guide on this journey of social selling. I know that this can be what makes the difference in your business this year. It's going to help you to get more teammates into your team. It's going to help you to get more customers. It's going to help you to serve people at a higher level, and you are going to explode. You're going to get unstuck and to the next level. I just know it, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. So thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your time, and we will connect. And reach out to me if you are interested in joining that group. I'm only going to be doing this with 10 to 12 people. So make sure that if you're interested that you you contact me, okay? Thanks so much. I will talk to you later. Oh, I also just want to mention, if you know somebody who could get a lot out of the Social Selling Success Society, anyone is welcome. I just put in there that I am a Christian because I don't want to edit myself, and I don't want anyone who's offended by that to make me feel uncomfortable. So please invite anyone that you think can ingest this information. I'm going to be leaving the social selling challenge up for at least 3 weeks so that people have time to consume the information over and over and get the download of the worksheet. Thanks so much. I look forward to chatting with you. All right, bye.